Hi, Taylor T. Carlson here, and it's been a while, but I'm finally going to resume my ranking of the songs on each Beatles album. I just did a review for the 4K movie release of A Hard Day's Night, so now we're going to do the Beatles' third album, which, of course, is A Hard Day's Night. As with the other entries on this list, though, I'm just sticking to the original UK album, not the American soundtrack release, which is slightly different. There are 13 tracks on this album, so I'm going to rank them in the order that I feel is worst to best. Songs being near the bottom of the list does not necessarily mean that they're bad. This is actually a very strong album with a lot of great cuts, but there's not really a bad song on this album, despite me ranking the tracks and some being lower than others. Let's go ahead and get started. At the bottom of the list, at number 13, we have When I Get Home. This is just another one of those early Beatles pop tunes. Not a bad song, but it does feel like it might be just a little bit of a filler in the grand scheme of things. One step up, at number 12, we have You Can't Do That. This one kind of falls into the same camp as the previous one. It's a good enough pop tune, but there are considerably better tracks to be had on the Hard Day's Night album. At number 11, we have Anytime at All. And this sort of still follows that same pattern as the first three. I would argue that this is a slightly stronger song, hence it being a little higher up the list. But, of course, this album does have stronger songs and even stronger pop songs. At number 10, we have And I Love Her. This was the album where Paul McCartney really started to get into these deep, more soulful songs. And this is one of the few that appears on here. And this is actually a very good song, though even then I still don't think it's the best example of this type of music that the album has to offer. At number 9, we have I'm Happy Just to Dance With You. This was the only song on the album that was sung by George Harrison, although he didn't write it. In fact, this is the only album on which John Lennon and Paul McCartney are credited with writing every single track. And it's a strong enough pop tune, and George's vocals make for a nice diversion from everything else on the album. I just wish they'd let him sing a slightly stronger, maybe more complex song. At number 8, we have If I Fell. This is another one of those slightly more soulful tracks, but still has quite a bit of pop appeal despite that. Again, it's a fairly strong track, just not my personal favorite on the record. At number 7, we have Things We Said Today, another song that sort of follows that same trend, and this, honestly, I think is some of Paul's best work on the album. There's some great vocal work here, and, everything comes together pretty nicely. And the only reason this one's not higher on the list is because there are a lot of other songs on this album that are so good. At number 6, we have I'll Cry Instead. Back in the day, before he really got into the psychedelic stuff and before he got together with Yoko Ono, John Lennon could crank out a pop tune with the best of them. And I think this is a splendid example of that. And even though you don't see this one show up in the lists of greatest Beatles songs by any means, it's extremely catchy, fun, fast-paced, and it's all done in about 2 minutes. Very well done on John Lennon's part this time around. At number 5, we have Tell Me Why. Again, another great, upbeat, energetic pop tune. This one famously played during the climax near the end of the film A Hard Day's Night, and there's not much else that can be said. It's just a great, fun pop tune, and certainly one of the stronger tunes on the record. I do find myself going back to this one because it's that catchy. At number 4, we have Can't Buy Me Love. Aside from the title track, probably the most popular song on the record, of course used during an integral montage sequence during the movie. I mean, you can not be familiar with the Beatles at all and still know this song. You can hear the song one time, and it's stuck in your head forever. They do that good of a job with this song, and it still ranks as one of their most popular songs, and rightfully so. At number 3, we have I'll Be Back. Again, one of the things I like about the Hard Day's Night album is we did start getting more into those deeper, more soulful songs, and of those types of songs, I think this is probably the best one on the record. Great vocals, great lyrics, great instrumentation. I adore this song, and it's a shame that you don't really hear this one talked about quite as much as you do. And number 2 on our list, getting very near the top now, but at number 2 we have I Should Have Known Better. Like I was saying earlier, John Lennon, back before his days of psychedelia and being involved with Yoko, he could really crank out those great, catchy pop tunes. And this is a fantastic example of that. It's the second song on the record, but easily one of the strongest, and it's impossible not to like this song. And now we come to number one. The number one track on A Hard Day's Night is, what else could it be? A Hard Day's Night. When it comes to classic 60s rock pop tunes, not even amongst just the Beatles standards, but altogether, this song is one of the true leaders. I adore this song. That opening guitar riff gets your attention. The catchy vocals, well, they'll keep you stuck to the song. And then, of course, you've got the guitar solo in the middle. It's a short song, but it's fast, it's catchy, it's always doing something to hold your interest, and it's no surprise that this is a fan favorite Beatles song. The title cut on this record has to be heard to be believed, and if you're a living, breathing person in the Western world, you've heard this song at some point before and probably never forgotten it, and rightfully so. And there we arrive at the end of ranking the songs on A Hard Day's Night. What's your favorite song on this record? Comment down below and let me know what you think. Also, remember to subscribe to my channel for more content because I'm always posting new videos, and be sure you give this one a like if you found it helpful. I'm Taylor T. Carlson. See you next time.